Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin down to about 67,400. Ethereum also coming down for a bit of a dip right around the $2,600 level. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins also retracing. But however, some of them are still holding up pretty strong, like Solana, Atom, Aptos, XRP, Uniswap, and a few others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But more importantly, I want to talk about one project, one altcoin that's part of a very interesting narrative, and that project is called Jito. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the top 100. We can see that the overall market cap is taking a bit of a dip. We are still at about 2.4, slightly above the $2.4 trillion. Yes, we came down approximately 2.6%, but we can't negate the fact that the reality is that the trend is still our friend. We did come down. I see that very clearly, but we're still making a higher low, and we have been making higher highs and higher lows, and the trend is our friend. Now, these pullbacks, of course, they do induce a bit of fear in the market, uncertainty and doubt as well. And at the current moment, I feel like, especially some of the altcoins, as they are dipping down, you know, there's a bit of fear out there. Now, the question is, should we be buying the dip? Should we be accumulating? And of course, that is all dependent on your current position in the market. If you're on the sidelines, maybe start dabbling in. If you have current positions and you see that your entries are not being tested, you know, maybe not get into some heavy or overexposed positions. Just wait to see if we get a further dip. Now, the reality is that based on cycles, I don't expect major retracements. I don't expect huge retracements or huge dips. But at the end of the day, being prepared for either case scenario, bullish, bearish, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, being one step ahead is the way we do it. And you can see that we, generally speaking, the overall market is in somewhat consensus of this dip. As we do see the market coming, the market cap falling down, we do see the trading volume increase. That is not a good look, generally speaking. However, as we grind it up, we saw that the trading volume was also falling. So that means over time, we're seeing a bit of divergence. And at this current moment, we're getting just a little bit of follow through, but we're not breaking trend. So we're still good here, guys. The market is still okay. We can get a pop to the upside with regards to market cap. The volume is already up. Maybe we could get some pop to the upside and continue with the strength in the volume. However, guys, at the current moment, this volume is bearish. Let's be real about that. Okay, so let's continue going down. Let's go see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Definitely coming down. Ethereum also coming down. Bitcoin seems to be falling a little bit harder than Ethereum, which should, you know, help the Bitcoin dominance ultimately. But still, guys, we want to see strength in alts. We want to see that strength. BNB coming down. Solana is coming down, but it is still up 3.6%. So this is a very important time for some of these larger cap altcoins, particularly Ethereum, Solana, BNB, and you know, these ones that are at the top of the game. At the end of the day, are they going to be the leading indicators for the altcoin season? Is Ethereum maybe not going to be that project to give us that lead? And traditionally, we wait for Ethereum to give us that lead, but we see Solana doing pretty good. We see BNB has been doing really well as well. So maybe it's a matter of just keeping an eye on the top 10, the top 5, you know, chains pretty much to see if what we get out of here, if we get out of it, is basically a signal, right? Are we going to see a rotation? Are we going to see some capital inflow? flow and that type of thing. So right now, Solana is doing good. BNB is still okay. You can see that the trend is still to the upside. And as we continue going down through and scraping through this top 100, you can see, although we are on a dip today, although we are coming down, it's not major. First of all, it's not a lot, but not only that, the trend is still our friend, right? We didn't change any character here. We didn't make a lower low or come down for a lower high. So we're still good. We can definitely get that reversal. We're still early in the week. We got a lot the rest of the week to see some, you know, price action to the upside. And unless we get a change of character, guys, there's no real reason to be fearful. Now, we are going to look at Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is at a very important critical level. And the reality is that if Bitcoin continues showing weakness where it is right now, it is likely that we eventually start changing character and maybe see a bigger dip, a bigger correction here in the altcoin market. But in the meantime, in the short term, guys, take it easy, because we could get a bit of relief. We can get a bullish response even from Bitcoin, and we can definitely get all kinds of bears trapped up into this negativity. Okay, so AVAX still looking good. We have anything right now. Chainlink is looking good. Anything related to ETH is doing okay. Near protocol, bottom of the range. We see Litecoin rolling over. Bottom of the range. What else do we have here? We have Cashbug, slow and steady grind here on these two tops and you know, bottoms. It's not bad, but still not the greatest look. FET bottom of the range. So a lot of them are coming back down in the to test short-term dips, short-term horizontals, which is something that we gotta, you know, keep an eye on. That these are potentially scenarios where we could see a good, healthy risk-to-reward ratio opportunities to scale in, particularly if you haven't scaled in already. We see Arbitrum taking a bit of a dip, and a lot of these altcoins are in that small retracement. I'm going to quickly scrape through the top 100 here, and you can see they're all looking very similar, except the exchange token here, BitGet token, is doing pretty good, still grinding to the upside. Did I scrape right over KuCoin? I'm not sure what I did there if I saw KuCoin, but you know, I'm really interested in a couple of things. Solana ecosystem is doing great. Centralized exchange tokens are doing good still. All of a sudden, we have a bit of a retracement on some of the you know, on some of the projects that we were looking at. For example, what is it called right here? Where's Manta? I want to show you Mantra, sorry. Mantra Ohm, there we go. Taking a bit of a dip, down approximately 4%. So, you know, for me, this is an important one, because given, you know, ultimately, I want to make sure that we do get an opportunity to buy dips. And if we do, I take full advantage of it. This thing has been a great gainer, guys. It's been totally grinding to the upside like crazy in the last little bit, not giving me an entry. So definitely on my watch list if I can get in. It's part of the real world asset narrative. It's a dedicated chain to that narrative, so it could be a really interesting one. So you can see that the market is maybe going to give us opportunities, but still the trend is your friend to the upside. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin real quick, and then we'll take a look at Jito. Guys, Jito, the interesting project, of course, and part of the Solana narrative. It could definitely do well in this up and coming altcoin season. But in the meantime, what is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin got a rejection exactly where the diagonal line has been placed. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, this diagonal line, of course, you guys know if you've been following me, has been here for a good while. Hasn't been changed. It's been here. And guess what, guys? Generally speaking, you know, diagonals do get respected, or they get acknowledged. Let's put it that way. They get acknowledged. There's people looking at this diagonal and they start saying, you know what, I'm going to de-risk. I'm going to take a bit of profit off the top. I might short a little bit. I might do something. I might react. Emotions. Let's start getting those emotions in. And I couldn't have made this arrow bigger. This is where I was like, okay, this is where the path of least resistance, you know, definitely is. This is where we could potentially see a reversal. So far, we got a bit of a reaction. We can see that. However, whenever we reach these levels in the past, or wherever we, you know, hit tops before, you know, we do get dips, and sometimes we get, you know, double tops or bullish reactions and confirmations. And we can see that we kind of jittered here, even jittered here a little bit. These not so much, but you get what I mean. Ultimately, in order to kind of define a divergence, we need at least, at minimum, 2 touches. Without the 2 touches, we are basically left with uncertainty with regards to a reversal. That's number 1. Number 2, change of character. Right now, I don't see any structure, right? We didn't break a low like we did here, or, you know, make an ascending type of wedge type of scenario here where we start breaking below. We didn't do any of that yet. Does it have to? No, it doesn't have to give a structure. We can get a complete retracement real quick. or we can get a little bit of a flag right below resistance and then flag out here and then break to the upside. I just feel that based on where we are in the market and the timing of the cycle and everything else, all the other, you know, parts of the Bitcoin narrative at the current moment, it's very risky to get super bearish. Not to say that you can't get defensive, you can't take profit, or, you know, whatever defensive strategy you employ that looks bearish. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what you also have to have is a big picture mentality, because the big picture mentality, guys, at the end of the day, right now, it hasn't changed. Cup and handle, still valid, still the top of the structure, could still break out. All of that could still happen just because today looks a little bit of red. Unfortunately, this is where the majority of the retail market starts to really capitulate and really second guess themselves. And at the end of the day, it just because you bought the top, let's say, I know emotions start to run wild, or you got overexposed and emotions start to run wild, or maybe you use too much leverage. You know, emotions do run wild. But what's important is that you ensure that whenever you get into a trade, that you get into a trade that ensures that your emotions do not run wild. So chill out with the leverage, chill out with the big positions, chill out with taking risk on the top. Always look for retracements. And there's still some great opportunities in the altcoin market while Bitcoin is hitting that resistance right above, you know, right at these levels on this diagonal. So what do we expect from Bitcoin at the end of the day? Do we expect a full retracement? Let's look at these oscillators. You know, volatility is definitely overbought. It's definitely overbought. Every time we hung out here for a good while, you know, we could grind up a little bit more. I can see that very possible, but ultimately a full reset in oversold conditions is possible. A full reset is definitely possible. Now, what I want to bring to your attention is the last time we got a full reset on Bitcoin, we can see that the volatility just came here and the price got support on the 200 daily. What about if the volatility fully resets, which is the orange line, fully resets, comes down here, and maybe we make another higher low, maybe get support right here, or even still on the orange line, something like that. That's still bullish. We're still good. We're still fine. We can see that the trend on the momentum is definitely grinding to the upside. We didn't even get overbought yet. Okay, look at the purple line. It didn't get overbought. The trend oscillator, look at this, still diverging and getting its follow through to the upside. We got EMAs up, green histogram bars, purple expansion. Everything is still looking good. So I feel like taking extreme actions at the current moment might put you at a disadvantage without at least a little bit of structure to kind of play. Because at the current moment, we got one rejection. Yes, it does look like a tweezer top, and it does look like a short-term dip, especially on lower time frames. But guess what, guys? We could get a full reset really quickly. And if you can see here on the 4-hour, momentum came down here, got a bounce, came down here, got a bounce. You know, and it could be that we come down here and get a bounce and go back over bot, or maybe we get a full reset. And that's the reality here, guys. There's all kinds of probability here. I'm just saying that at the current moment, the way things look, if we break below this bottom and we start breaking to the downside and confirming a lower low here on the 4-hour, you know, ensure that you understand that we can come down a little bit lower, maybe down to about 64,000. We could even get a quick bounce to the upside, get a confirmation high, a lower high, and then come down for another lower low. And then things on the lower time frames, of course, will start to look bearish, but that means that you're going to have to either play the lower time frames or just take it on the chin and expect that eventually on the daily, you know, after the bit of a dip, maybe we do continue to the upside, and then we start looking at, you know, a continuation. That's basically what we want to see here. We got to be patient here for Bitcoin. As soon as Bitcoin breaks above that 70, guys, we're going to start flying, and then it's too late. So don't get too aggressive with the bearishness. Don't get too aggressive with the profit taking. Take a bit of profit, walk away, and scale in on a dip. All right, guys, let's take a look at Jito. At the end of the day, Jito's looking good. And this is one of the altcoins that ultimately have a great opportunity. Why? Because it's part of a great narrative. And ultimately, you know, being part of the Solana narrative is great. Solana could be a very, very good project, catalyst for all the Solana, you know, projects being built on it. Solana hype is definitely there. The ecosystem is doing great. The chain is doing great. Everything's doing great. So what I'm thinking about is scaling into various projects that are built on great chains, Solana being one of them. Now, if you look at where the price is currently, we're at a good level. Now, we're not at the best level, but we're at a really good level. And the reason being is because we have bottoms. We have this volume right here. Let me just kind of make this a little bit more better, like that, a little bit cleaner. And you can see that this zone right here is a bit of weakness, but ultimately we have this bottom down here. That bottom right there is going to give us the majority of where we with the risk to reward ratio needs to be calculated, because if we break below this low, it's not a good look. However, if we also break below this horizontal that I just put in at $1.85, you know what, it's not a good look either, because we can start breaking down, and breaking down means that we're going to be testing the previous low and maybe coming down into dip discovery, and we don't know how low we go. However, guys, the probability also is that we could see some really good strength out of the market any moment now. And you can see that little by little, these rounded bottoms are looking pretty good, right? They're getting nice W formations. Whatever happens here, it's looking pretty good, right? And we have a clear top that we need to break above. We have clear tops here that we need to break above, and we have a top here. It's a bit of a diagonal. I get it. But what about these rounded scenarios, right? Rounded scenarios where eventually we start tapering in, or we start rolling to the upside, and then eventually we get the change of character, because as soon as we make a higher high and then maybe backtest for a higher low, that's the change of character, right? That's a higher high and a higher low. Then we go for another higher high, and then it's a trend reversal that we're in. Then it's a little bit too late, right? Right now is not bad, because at the current moment, even on lower time frames, we're flagging out at the current moment, looking for another impulse perhaps. Okay, so right now the daily is looking good. I understand we're below the 200 daily. I understand that we're getting into a tighter structure and consolidating here. I understand that it could even be kind of look like an ascending type of triangular formation, given the fact that we're downward sloping here and we have a straight horizontal here. It does look like an ascending triangle, which has a bearish bias to break down. I get it. But given where we are in this market, at least this risk to reward ratio is super, super healthy. And what I mean by that is you have two places to put stop losses. You can put one right here and right underneath these bottoms, and I'm going to quickly just adjust this, right? Let's put this right here, and you can see that you're taking a bit of a hit, but ultimately your target should be the top of the range. That's the reality. You're taking a lot of risk down here. And in fact, if you were to, let's say, include this bottom as your stop loss, it's still very healthy, the ratio. It's a 3-to-1. And if it happens to come down, you have options to DCA and basically increase your position size and bring down your average cost, so improving your risk to reward, and ultimately having a bigger bag that gives you a lot more return. 153% gains just to the top of the range, not talking about price discovery. So what is the possibility of price discovery here? In my opinion, very high. Okay, obviously, guys, high. What I don't like is the momentum stuck in the chop zone. No overbought or no oversold conditions just yet, which means that we're ready for an expansion. So it's not bad of an idea to start building a position in a direction that you feel that the market is going eventually. I see that we've gotten pretty oversold here without a bullish response. I see these expansions getting smaller and smaller in the background. You see the red expansions, you can see they're getting smaller and smaller, which tells me that any moment now, these green ones that are coming in are going to get bigger and stronger as we get comfortable with the bullish response. Really interesting here. We got a couple of bullish divergences right here, even though they could be class B, all good, still pretty good. A couple of class A's, but really indecisive ultimately, with a tad of a bullish bias. As you can see, the EMAs are slowly moving to the upside. Once we see these EMAs in the bullish control zone, and we can definitely see some great price action where we see a bullish pop, right? That's basically what we're preparing for. And you can see how this thing is kind of consolidating as well. Consolidation, waiting for an expansion to the upside. So not bad of a scenario. So what would we say here? I think ultimately the issue is that we're going sideways. And the issue is that we haven't really gotten a major expansion to give us a clear direction as far as where is it going to go. Why? Because we don't have much price action looking left, which is good and bad at the same time, because the good thing is that we're waiting for a massive expansion. Expansion out of what? The reality is out of this accumulation range, or this range, because it's not really accumulation just yet. I don't see it to be too accumulative, but I do see it a lot with a lot of market participation. I see a lot of volume. And if as soon as we start breaking out to the upside, the question is, do we actually perhaps start breaking out for real out of this structure, out of all of this? And that's what's really interesting to me as a trader, as a momentum trader, because I want to see momentum in a direction. I want to see a price in a clear direction, because after an impulse like that, we could expect a flag. We can expect a flag where we can start looking for entries upon the flag for a continuation to the upside, or maybe a dip through volume gaps, because after a massive expansion with very little consolidations along the way up, we start to look for volume gaps so that the price could actually fall right through, backtest and continue type of thing. thing. So we didn't even get an expansion here, guys. It's so fresh, it's so new, it's just not giving us a lot of data. But the risk to reward ratio is healthy given the fact that the price is closer to the bottom than it is the top. And I like the narrative, generally speaking. So not bad. I see price volume not really picking up, just a little bit, but I want to see a little bit more. But I like these bottoms because you got clear invalidations. Guys, if I've offered you any value here on the channel, in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys, see you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.